Okay. So he left in the rental to go see his friend or whatever, not, and I stayed at the house. He was gone for maybe like 3 hours. He came back, and then we did, what we planned to do and that was go sightseeing. Like, we hit the museums, we did the aquarium, we went to the harbor. Like, we did everything that we said that we was gonna do, and it was fine. Like, nothing happened. We brought in Christmas together and then New Year's together. So that was the end of 2017. So I noticed that, well, not I didn't notice, but I didn't mention anything about my family in 2017 because he didn't meet my family. Yes, I met his family, his entire family in 2017, but he did not meet my family. So the reasoning behind that, he was saying that he needs to get to know me first, and we need to work through our problems first before he meets my family. But we didn't have to work through our problems before I met his family. And most importantly, his dad, which is the most important person in his life. Like, he looked up to his dad. His dad was his role model. That's why he always told his dad that the woman that he introduced him to was going to be his wife. And I was the first woman that was introduced to his dad. So the reason why he was hesitant about meeting my family at first is because he had like a little run-in with my mom. Well, not a run-in. It was more on the phone. So during the summer, we was in my car driving to Waffle House for the third time that doggone day. Venus, fat ass. But we was in the car driving to Waffle House to get something to eat, and my mom calls me. So I'm in the car, I answer the phone, it connects to the Bluetooth. She was like, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "Nothing, driving to get something to eat." And she was just like, "Oh, you and who?" I said, me and my friend that I'm talking to, the guy that I'm dating right now. She was like, "And you driving?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm driving my car." She was like, "He don't have a car?" I was like, "No, Mom, he's in college." She was like, "What you doing with a man that ain't got no car? You got 2 kids. And you with a man that ain't got no car?" And I was like, "Mama, you on speakerphone." I'm like, "I got you on Bluetooth." She's like, "Oh." I said, "He in the car." She said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I ain't mean like, just call me later." I was like, "Okay, I'll call you later." And I hung up the phone, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he was just like, "So how your mama gonna just start judging me and don't even know me?" I was like, she's just being protective because, about my past relationship, like the last relationship with my baby daddy. But we ain't gonna talk about that because I know he gonna try to sue me because I know he looking at this. Anyway. So I was just like, yeah, she just feels some type of way about that. Like, she's just being protective. He was just like, I just don't like the fact that she judged me before even knowing me. I'm like, she's like my grandma. She say what's the first thing on her mind before, anything. She has no filter. It's okay. Okay, it's okay. When she meets you and get to know you, everything will be different. So after that, he did not feel comfortable with me and my family. So I was like, okay, I get you want us to work on our problems first, because he was saying that my issue in all of my last relationships was I was not submissive. Because yes, I did tell him about my last relationships and what I went through with them. He said, "I'm going to keep it to you real, because I know you ain't never been with a real nigga." You're not submissive. You like to talk back. You like to debate. Like, if somebody says something that you don't like, you have to speak on it. And I'm just like, that's just how I am. I mean, I don't know how to not be that way. And I'm like, "What you mean by submissive?" I'm like, I cook. I mean, I clean. I listen to you. Like, yeah, it's just when you say some stupid stuff that don't make sense, like, yeah, I'm going to question it. Like, you don't want me to question it? He said, "No, it's not about you questioning it. It's you debate it." I'm like, I'm debating it because I'm asking for clarity. It's not me purposely trying to debate. He said, "See, you're doing it right now. I'm trying to keep it real with you, and you sitting up here trying to debate with me about how I feel about you." And I was like, you know what? Okay. I'm listening. Let me listen, because you just told me that I don't listen. So let me listen. So that's how that went. That's what he wanted to work on in our relationship regarding me. My non-submissiveness. So he didn't meet my family that first year. Well, he never met my family, even later. He's never met my family. But in this first year, I met his entire family. He did not meet my family. So, yeah. And I know I said a lot of negative things about him. Well, not a lot of negative, but it's a lot of questionable things. But, and I know that's probably making you guys wonder, like, okay, so what made you keep doing it? He was actually really sweet. Like he was really sweet. He would open doors. He would make sure I was okay. He would bring the groceries in. He was really, really sweet. And then he was starting to teach my son, my oldest son, that same thing, how to pay attention to your mom, how to read your mom. So it was that, and he was helpful around the house when he was there. He was helpful. If I cooked, he washed dishes. He always made sure the trash was taken out by him, and he was teaching my oldest son Jackson how to take out the trash as well, because I was used to just doing everything on my own, and he hated that, because he said, your son is 5 years old and you are still putting his clothes on in the morning. I'm like, because he moves slow and I'm trying to get up and get going because we got to go. He's like, no, let him do it. You keep babying him. Like, he was real adamant about me not babying my boys, because he was like, I was the epitome of a single mom with boys. I babied them. I coddled them. Like, he said that my kids were a little disrespectful, because if he was talking to me and my son wanted to say something, my son would just say something. He would just come up and say something. He was just like, don't you see adults talking? And I was like, it's okay. And I would say listen to what he had to say. I was like, okay. And I sent him on and say, see, that's the problem. When you was growing up, if you walked up to your mama and your daddy or something, or any adult, and they're talking and you interrupt their talking, what's gonna happen? I was like, I mean, my mom might knock me out, but they gonna look at me like, why you interrupting us? You know? He's like, exactly. And you allow your kids to do that. I was like, okay. So it was a mix of him trying to tell me the real, I guess, and me not being submissive. So I wasn't submissive in 2017. And I'm sure the details of that story shows you that, like no, I was not accepting just anything from that man. So January 2nd, 2018, I came back to Georgia, you know, because New Year's was over. I came back to get my kids and go back to work. He came back a couple of days later. And when he came back, that's when he moved in with me. Yes, the church lady paid for his out-of-state tuition. But when he did the calculations, he realized that if he moved off campus, he could save on his room and board, and he could have a school check. So he moved off campus, moved in with me. And the arrangement was that when he get his school check, he would help with the bills around the house. So at this time, like, he was only using my car on certain days. It wasn't every day. But since we were now living together and he still had to go to school and I still had to go to work, that's when he started dropping me off at work every day. Every day except for Tuesdays and some Wednesdays, because those are my travel days at work. So I use my car to travel because the company pays me a per diem for that travel. So to me, that's extra bread on top of my already hourly. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna drive my car to get that extra bread. So on Tuesdays and some Wednesdays, I would drive my car to work, and he would ask his friend to pick him up and take him to school, whatever. So, and on Tuesdays and the Wednesdays that I traveled, he cooked dinner. Like I said, he was helpful around the house in the beginning.